Hello friends. Today we will be going through a Wikipedia rabbit hole, and I will be giving you the best facts from every single page. But first we need a good starting point. The starting point for today is going to be none other than Steve Jobs. We will be going from Steve Jobs to brass. Oh, Jobs. Man, I wish I had one. Okay. Here we go. Let's make our way to Wikipedia. Steve Jobs. Steve Paul Jobs. First fun fact, didn't know his middle name was Paul. American businessman, inventor, and investor best known for co-founding the technology giant Apple Incorporated. If you don't know what Apple is, it's not the fruit. Honeycrisp is the best apple. Can't convince me otherwise. Oh, what's this? In 1974, he traveled through India seeking enlightenment before studying Zen Buddhism. Well, I think he found enlightenment because he made the iPhone. He and Wozniak co-founded Apple. Boring. In 1985, Jobs departed Apple after a long power struggle with company's board and then CEO John Sculley. Another fun fact, Steve Jobs was the youngest of 9 siblings. You couldn't even fit everyone in a minivan. Do you have to get a school bus at that point? Our boy went to Homestead High, grew up in a Los Altos home. Most importantly though, in mid-1970 he got stoned for the first time. I'm glad that's on this Wikipedia page. Oh baby, let's just admire this photo for a second. Haircut, perfect length. Bow tie, on point. Man, now I feel like my hair's lame. Went to Reed College in Portland, Oregon. Ooh. Here's how they decided to name Apple. The two decided on the name Apple after Jobs returned from the All One Farm commune in Oregon and told Wozniak about his time in the farm's apple orchard. Can you imagine if he went to like an orange place instead? Then everyone would have orange phones, but they wouldn't actually be the color orange, potentially. At age 23, Jobs was worth over $1 million, equivalent to $4.49 million in 2022. Okay. I am older than 23, but quite a bit more poor. By age 25, his net worth grew to an estimated $250 million, the equivalent of $805 million in 2022. Slightly older than 25. I do not have $805 million yet. All right, well, now that I feel completely terrible about my net worth, let's move on to Pixar and Disney. Jobs funded the spin-out of the graphics group, later renamed Pixar, from Lucasfilm's computer graphics division for the price of $10 million. Let me get this straight. So you're telling me that Jobs made the iPhone, the iPod, and Pixar? Personally, I've made a sandwich, peanut butter and jelly, turkey, and ham. I mean, I'm pretty close to Steve Jobs. 1997 to 2011, Steve Jobs returns to Apple. He's a freaking hero. Then he gets health problems. In October of 2003, Jobs was diagnosed with cancer. In mid-2004, he announced to his employees that he had a cancerous tumor in his pancreas. Jobs died at his home in Palo Alto, California around 3 p.m. on October 5th, 2011. Steve, thank you for Pixar. Thank you for the iPhone. Thank you for the iPod. Thank you for this iconic hair and pioneering the vegan diet. Another fun fact, he also consulted a psychic for his health problems. All right, Steve, we're now leaving you and we're going to the Wikipedia wormhole. Hormone imbalance. Endocrine diseases are disorders of the endocrine system. The branch of medicine associated with endocrine disorders is known as endocrinology. 3 groups of endocrine dysfunction: hormone deficiency, hormone excess, and tumors of endocrine glands. Check out that picture. Let me just name all of these things. That's the brain. Number 2 is also the brain. Number 3 is the throat. Number 4 is the chest. Number 5 and 6 is belly button and surrounding area. Number 7 is parts that I don't have. Number 8 is my frickin' manhood. Glad we went into that endocrine disease. Interesting. Diabetes is actually considered an endocrine disease. Hypoglycemia is also an endocrine disease. Thyroid diseases. Osteoporosis is an endocrine disease. Let's jump into a medical emergency like diabetic ketoacidosis. Diabetic ketoacidosis is a potentially life-threatening complication of diabetes mellitus. Signs and symptoms may include vomiting, abdominal pain, deep gasping breath, increased urination, weakness, confusion, and occasionally loss of consciousness. A person's breath may develop a specific fruity smell. Oh no, I think I have it. Or actually I just ate Fruit Loops. So freaking fruity and healthy. All right, let's try to make a big jump. Shock. Circulatory shock. Shock is the state of insufficient blood flow to the tissues of the body as a result of problems with the circulatory system. All right, let's get out of this medical thing and start going into some philosophy. Hippocrates. Hippocrates was a physician of the classical period who is considered one of the most outstanding figures in the history of medicine. Okay, I know I said I was trying to get out of medicine, but apparently I did not know anything about Hippocrates. Oh, this is a fun fact. Hippocrates is credited as the first person to believe that diseases were caused naturally, not because of superstitions or gods. Disease was not a punishment inflicted by the gods, but rather product of environmental factors, diet, and living habits. Hippocratic medicine was humble and passive. The therapeutic approach was based on the healing power of nature. According to this doctrine, the body contains within itself the power to rebalance the 4 humors and heal itself. I want to see what the 4 humors are. Humorism, the humoral theory, or humoralism, was a system of medicine detailing a supposed makeup and workings of the human body adopted by ancient Greek and Roman physicians and philosophers. I thought there were going to be so many jokes on this page, but these aren't humorous. Let's go to Earth. Earth is one of the classical elements in some systems, being one of the four along with air, fire, and water. I know this from my extensive knowledge of Avatar, The Last Airbender. Cube. Let's see what a cube is. A cube is a three-dimensional solid object bound by 6 square faces, facets, or sides, with 3 meeting at each vertex. Here's a picture of a cube. Great shape for ice. Spherical cube redirects here, not to be confused with a squircle. What is a squircle? A squircle is a shape intermediate between square and a circle. There are at least 2 definitions of squircle in use, the most common of which is based on the super ellipse. The word squircle is a portmanteau of the words square and circle. Squircles have been applied to the design and optics. So all the apps you see on your phone, they're squircles. The area inside a squircle can be expressed in terms of gamma function as 3.708149 r squared. What a freaking squircle. Samsung uses squircle-shaped icons in their Android software overlay. Italian car manufacturer use numerous squircles in the interior and exterior design of the 3rd generation Panda. They made a Panda? Let's check it out. Fiat Panda. The Fiat Panda is a city car manufactured and marketed by Fiat since 1980, currently in its 3rd generation. In 40 years, Panda production has reached over 7.8 million. This car does not look like it runs on bamboo. Looks like our launch model came out in 1980. Well done, Fiat. Looks sexy. Oh dang, it had a facelift in 1986. Received a visual and mechanical revision. Oh my gosh, here's a picture of the interior. Incredible feels. The Panda is produced for police departments. The Polish police have bought some blue and white Panda actual models. Military agencies. The Italian army uses several dark green Panda climbing models. Forest Service, the Italian Forest Service. Mail delivery services. So if you're in Poland or Italy, you better be seeing these all around. The Panda 4x4 got Top Gear magazine's SUV of the year in 2012. Now we know a lot about pandas, specifically Fiat Pandas. Alright, let's go diving into leaf springs. A leaf spring is a simple form of spring commonly used for suspension in wheeled vehicles. Originally called a laminator or carriage spring, and sometimes referred to as a semi-elliptical spring, elliptical spring, or cart spring. Okay, here's what the leaf spring looks like. Dang, look at that spring! A traditional semi-elliptical Hotchkiss leaf spring arrangement. On the left, the spring is connected to the frame through the shackle. The 2 ends of a leaf spring usually are formed into round eyes or eyelets through which a fastener connects each end of the spring to the vehicle frame or body. Bet you didn't know what a leaf spring was this morning. Because leaf springs are made of relatively high quality steel, they are a favorite material for blacksmiths. Leaf springs from scrapped cars are frequently used to make knives, kukris, and other tools. Oh dang, leaf springs also replace traditional coil springs in some trampolines? Coil springs, man, you're losing ground on the trampoline. I was never allowed to jump on a trampoline because I was too dangerous. Why did I just say that out loud? I sound like such a dork. But trust me, I'm really cool. Like, I could have jumped and done backflip, but instead I watched my friends. What the heck is a kukris? Oh my gosh, this looks dangerous. Is a type of short sword? The kukri is designed primarily for chopping. Brass. Let's go to brass. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Brass is more malleable than bronze or zinc. The relatively low melting point of brass, 900 to 940 degrees Celsius, 1,650 to 1,750 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the composition. That means if you leave your trumpet in a hot car, it could start melting, if you happen to have parked on the sun. Alright guys, well I hope you learned a little bit of something today. Thank you for joining me on this wormhole from Steve Jobs to brass. In reverse order, we did brass, kukri, we now know is a knife. Leaf spring, kind of looks like a bunch of little things. Fiat Panda, it's a car, Fiat's not a zoo. The squircle, didn't know it was a shape, but now you do. The cube, kind of boring, but it got us to the squircle. Earth, air, fire, and water, I love Avatar. Humorism, system of medicine that's kind of outdated now. Hippocrates, apparently he was like the medical guy, and I thought he was just like only a philosopher. Circulatory shock, gotta get blood flow to all those tissues. Diabetic ketoacidosis, that's why I eat so many red vines. Endocrine diseases, and Mr. Steve Jobs, inventor of Apple. There you have it, folks. That's our summary. Have a good day.